I think say I saw a publication from Joe Jackson. Anna Asamoah Walker said the stars have aligned in favor of Ghana for our economy to recover. Na nansen wutie Ghana ye economy nsemo a eba na em se eniji semenkwa ati ase eniji semenkwa na what is actually coming up right now and it's a SP Global Ratings upgrade Ghana your country's foreign currency sovereign credit rating omo upgrade yen e de free selective default e de yen ako CCC plus na metrete mu na nkrofo atiase and then what it means for this country and possibly what I think that the NDC government should be doing at this point. Okay, they shouldn't try. I mean, I know to force in our helm of affairs. No, of course. I don't know whether I told you here, but I had a dream, and it was to forcing and when him say I had a dream. It was to forcing and Okujato into Okujato and to forcing, and in the dream, no. Atuforsen was smiling, and then we were heading towards, we were all heading towards a bright light. Into Okujato Atuforsen, and then they were leading us towards a bright light. And then you could see the face of Atuforsen. Na Obia Esri. That was the dream I had. Now, as to the meaning of that dream, no. You and I, Obia be to me up in the meaning. It was Ada anymore. But Ada no na me sonye. What you say? Into no. Let's see what happens. But no quarry let me explain this thing. Sir upgrade. When him the Ghana you call IMF. Ma me break it down. Na me treat mu na nkrofo nti ase. Ye your mind bia dodo na no ye bobosia. Ye bosia e na ye de survive Ghana. As to whether that is right or not, ye ni nim say enye. Nanso it has been the practice for a very long time. Na ye bobosia ma ne ba be broso Ghana under President Akufo Addo de bia nta ne ye ka say ohwe President Akufo Addo mra ye bobosia esen Kwame Nkrumah time ni na ye di bomu President Akufo Addo nkwan ba wa ba be bobosia sen president bia wa ba betena Ghana enti se ye oman a sebe na ye wo 100 cedis ana ye mfa se ye adwuma na adwuma no ye nya 100 cedis ni akwa kobo bosia na afa bosia na ya bo no ya bo ama na broso ama na akwa kodu 200 cedis a o kobo bosia wo bi ho bioma e bia no mfa ma because onim say wo kra at the end of the month no sika wunya e 100 cedis nti se wa ba be bosia na abro sika wunya so a untumi ntuame and that was basically our economy. That was basically what President Akufo Addo did. Nti mbrofofo na komo boye mbosia no e ka se wo mo boye mbosia biom dientia because President Akufo Addo aban abobosia mana broso ama sisia no omo hwe a ye nye sikentia nti no na bond holders because mama wati ase se omo a wo to bonds ene nyama no mo so mo di omusika abobosia ma aban ti ho na President Akufo Addo debt restructuring no eye den e bae because o tre wo mo a wabobosia fi omo ho efri Ghana ha se mabobosia fi mo ho mintumi ntia nti no sika no enhye haircut yenti sika ne so ene na edisansem ni na ayeden e baaye no nti that was under President Akufo Addo nti mbrofofo no ba be downgrade yen nti na afa yentumi nkonko bobosia biom because ya bobosia mana bro so nenne the same mbrofofo a wo mo downgrade yen na afa yentumi bobosia biom no omo atena se ehu ne se aban foforo a aba no wa hyehye economy ni yie enyama apeke ama Ghana nti afa ya upgrade Ghana economy no from default a President Akufo Addo de yen ekokoto ye no and then yama ya abasru biom na tre say investor confidence ye den eba na bosia no a ye boy a ema ye ho kire yen no ati ase another thing ene say omo ano omo ye foreigners a no mo de omo investment in dollars eno kra kan ho bi na cedi no eba be ye week because omo ano omo ye foreigners a omo de omo dollars a hye ye economy mu no na afi wo mo sanso be yi o musika ye den ekoye nti afi be ma dollar ho ye den e wo Ghana because omo ana omo kro omo dollars a wo mo de ye adwuma wo Ghana no mo yi de ko President Akufo Addo say economy no Inti enne the same nkrofo a wo rank yen e downgrade yen a ma no hunti ye call IMF no and then nkrofo na tena se ehunu se aban foforo abe ahye enyama foforo ase confidence aba omo a wo yi omo sika free Ghana system ni mu nyina no esanso the sika ba be shim the management of the economy this time around omo ehunu se nkrofo omo manage no sebe nyansafo enye Bank of Ghana tetefo na omo printi sika na Bank of Ghana recorded losses of 60 billion no. This time around Bank of Ghana are reported say they are not expecting to record any loss of even 1 peso, and that is something new in at least 3 or 4 years. Bank of Ghana is not recording any loss. Naturally say enyansafo aba omo handle economy no ti omo a omo grade yen no say President Akufo Addo amena wode yen kokko hyemu no Ghana omo aba no omo ye free amenanim into asisi omo upgrade yen. And so this story or this news are eba sisi akra no, it will further strengthen the city, it will further strengthen our economy. So basically this is what is going on. Into S&P omo upgrade Ghana's credit rating from selective default to CCC plus. Yes, CCC plus no be so still you wechi. But we have baby a President Akufo Addo be fire free. Em say President Akufo Addo be fire free B plus so said yen. E no dey enkoko share default. Naturally say junk. E ho no make us economy na dan baller so sumi na so ade. Yes, almost say junk economy. But see ano ye free junk state. Ya call CCC plus. Hopefully baby na ye war first no. You bet to me akoduru obiom ye B plus no said no. You bet to me akoduru obiom. But this is good for our economy. It is good for the recovery. What you say? Intino. That is basically what is coming through right now. Menemo kasa. Ye danyamiase. Intino. That is that. It speaks of the investor confidence. It speaks of. But see, my only problem is the only problem I have with the management of Ghana's economy, and they say. Yeah, we do better to destroy it. Okay? That's the only problem I have with Ghana's economy. You call IMF, near Coco, yes, our programs in the area. Ubon say at the end of the day, near economy, no, a basro kakra. A basro, ya, near Yasanso Aquaco Bobo Siana, Asanso Asabium. And I think, say, this time around, with Atoforsen at the helm of affairs, no, we will change that. Say ende yentumi mbobosian from the international market na yetumi survive na ye economy no ko nenim na ende gold board hunti yenya sika inflows of dollars na cedi na ye stronger. I think say we can still maintain like this consistently like this to the point where omoba be upgrade ye economy ne kra na we can still decide not to borrow. Ghana nyo man be was say ye borrow. I am looking for a day where on my way, Rebecca say, in a single year, you borrow 1 cedi mpo from Abia the Eurobond, and I borrow 1 cedi mpo from Mbrofofone. I am looking for that day, and that is when our true freedom will begin. That is when our true freedom will start. I am really looking for that day, but we can continuously do this. Yes, economy no yasha asia ye peja no akosro no. Me yanko nko bobo sian bia. And mama say no. Listen, if you and every time when I talk about this, people simply don't understand. Eh? Ewiase won. Your politicians we ni na your politicians be abo di ye. Omo you successful. The truth of the matter is that if you want to be successful financially, you need to take certain steps. I don't understand why. And I mean, with the exception of Atoforsen, to me who say Atoforsen, no, he's a financial guy. Aside everything else, my mama what I say. Aside everything else, me mama what I say. Me, I am also a financial guy. What I say, I read a lot on finances. Into aside, I mean, my friends will tell you, I give some of them financial advices. I hear baby omo for music Anthony Nyama, and some of them will come back to me later and tell me, say, hey, Charlie, I deal with our catch, no. I'm pow say ni what I say. I am also a pure financial guy. You see, if you want financial freedom, okay, it is something you need to be intentional about. be it personal, be it corporate, be it in fact, be it even a country. And the first step of financial freedom is to making sure you have a buffer. That should be your first step. So what person dachi udi ye sikemua Ghana for bebre na no ya adwen. And you see our education system so kan ho. Ghana for bebre na ye trimu no ene se si ye bedi ya one day ye wo ho a obon se sikapudo bia ba beto ye so ne ye di ye dabi. That is why u check ewiase mu ni na. Let me get time and speak about this because I'm really passionate about this. Mo amotie me no because you can even use it for your life. That is why so u share na u check ya ewiase ni na no omo a wo mutan wini lottery no. At the end of the day, it just takes some number of years because on building the intelligence and the knowledge to maintain that money. Inti a young grofo bebere say unya sikepudu a eno ano no we di ye, but it is only the beginning. The real work is getting knowledge on how to maintain and build that money. And it is the key to financial success. The first thing, the first thing is to create a buffer for bad days. Because bad days will come. Oko shoba from where you're wine. Embre bi beba ejuma nkoso sa. Embre bi beba ejuma bekoso. From ente hoda. De biayana, I get reference from the Bible. Bible no obi biara nyankopon nshira ne bia no. We nyane from. Omudina they had their low moments. Be it David, be it Solomon, when every single person in Yankupon Shran or Bible Nimubia, any low moments, as a friend saying, a soft one, Obianya low moments, Job, why? Into a travel, into Interamericas, and me, I love the Bible very much because if you read the Bible, it's about life. If you want financial freedom, the first thing you do is to build a buffer, build an emergency fund. Normally, your emergency fund should be about 3 to 6 months of or monthly expenses. Into the first thing I will buy, and say build the idea of an emergency fund. Into when say at the end of the month, uno utiawo kana ye ubi be a 10,000 cedis and make sure say accounts be our friend of the emergency fund. And no at least 6 months and 3 to 6 months of sika I'll best spend it. For 6 months, Yamvan says 6 months, who knew you may be ana, says he can't womb. And to say 10,000, I'll spend a month, who build the emergency fund of 60,000. A 1,000 cities now spending a month, emergency fund of 6,000 at least. That's the first step. That is your first step. Who build the emergency fund new year? Your second step is making sure say on the car. Into a cabia da usubiano. Make sure say we build the emergency fund ni we are. Afe isike bia beba bia no fetia wo kanina. And that is your steps. So two things we your step to financial freedom. It's as simple as that. Once you are able to do these two things, udi obehu senia afe o sustain for some number of years obehia say obedi. Into where His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the first term now, he knew this. Intiana, Ghana, or build this sinking fund, MIA. Sir, Esla, Nessa, fund, Yamahama, build the Maya, no. He knew it was more like emergency fund, say, a told the be no mind, ya won't tree, near come, and indeed. Under President Akufo Addo, COVID by ya won't tree, no. What happened? Ye cause our funds, nimu. So His Excellency John Dramani Mahama knew that. It's as a nation, see a DER, that should be what we should be doing. You build the emergency fund, no? Ewie. Ni a build the emergency fund ni him so manya me si ba ho hye to Ghana so a ye ho ntre yen ye be ko ni ayewe ni enye sika ni ayewe o de emergency fund the kra no if you want to go extreme o de pesika onim say 1 year wo nye adwuma say sika no you can feed on it for 1 whole year. You and your family you can be okay. If you want to go to the extreme of building emergency fund, that should be what you can do. Or that should be what I was saying. Until once you are able to build an emergency fund, now what's in way free which you are working in area. Now the next thing, and I say you will invest. Obey investing. Investment, no, it comes in several forms. You can decide to do long-term investment. Long-term investment, no, pay a personal pension plan, and then they your pension. But I know our pension plan now, you see what we are doing, no. I'm about boy financing. But you see, I want to tell people so people start doing things like that. That's what I'm saying. I'm speaking. Why pay a personal pension fund? Men fan who say would you pension the dada and no but create a personal pension fund for yourself. Ghana has say, oh yeah, create a tier 3 pension fund for yourself. A personal pension fund. Because tier 1 and tier 2 no are compulsory. Into one kasa, go to a pension licensed company and create a personal pension fund for yourself. Personal pension fund no okwa and no you will be a friend no a cumulative. What you say? The power of compounding interest. And then oh yeah 20 years and now oh yeah 25 years we're Ghana there. Now we have 20 cedis into a personal pension fund that has just about 18% of annualized a year interest krana. By the time I'll be retired, no, you become a millionaire. Who the 20 cedis pay every month to 20 cedis wait the 20 years. Now the 20 cedis pay every month to personal pension fund nimu, personal pension fund nimu. By the time I'll be 60 years no. Now you're a millionaire in Ghana cedis. Inti anumpu the 20 cedis a inti anumpu the back case kra. Ti eno dia unim say, wo dia say brano went to me and bokra na wo dia be the 22 mo be 60 no na wada ni millionaire. And your personal pension. Ansana ebia other pensions no. Sisi anu we tia wo kewie. Sisi anu we create a emergency fund ewie. Inti no say sika na nka e dia wo de betua wo ka ene emergency fund no. Sika ne ba you can go all in. Say your 40% of annual or monthly salary and now 50% of a monthly salary krana. Oh dear treasury bill na beto krana fato every month. 40% or 50% be na tisikane to say we dey media investments. Read about stocks, the stock market, and then the Ghanaian stock market or more to shares. Ghana MTN Muno, they will tell you the amount of money they are making. Serious. Just recently, MTN declare say almost shares no. I mean this video is taking another 10, but I like it because we are talking about finances. Please indulge me. MTN for nansenya almost shares. And then opesa okoto sorry, me see MTN Ghana Commercial Bank and then opesa okoto Ghana Commercial Bank shares ah. Say share back here I think should be somewhere around 7 cedis 50 pesos. But omu declare a friend saying profit or benefits of 1 cedi per share. Inti se ebia wato Ghana Commercial Bank shares. Nebia over 10,000 shares and now 20,000 shares aside the fact say ebia the value of the shares no akosro when you sike free no because ebia auto shares no na 2 cedis and there are 7 cedis. Not to say 10,000 na auto ya and there sa 10,000 no ababe dane be 30,000. That you say ababe dane even more than 30,000 kra. Aside say when you more than say 30,000 no and there almost also declare say ukita share ba ko a wo sanso nya profits dividends your friend dividends when your dividends of 1 cedi ewo ho and also your extra cash. Today where a lot of people are making money the Ghana Stock Exchange because the stock exchange you know emwe wo share just some of the commodities of some of the products on Ghana Stock Exchange and then the percentage they are making now. Chale, e bin see that. That's what they won't trust the Ghana Stock Exchange now say. Obe invest in American Stock Exchange. You can do so in Ghana. All these things are forms of a friend saying investments. Today you can sit at the comfort of your home and invest in American Stock Exchange by using licensed applications like Bamboo and the likes. It's what they say every month. Misika Airbano, Metia Mikewie, ma set up emergency fund we. Into every month, Misika Airbano, 40% with the year investment. But even with the 40%, no, maybe 10% of that 40%, no, I will invest in shares, stocks. Maybe 20% of that 40%, no, I will invest in securities, what you say, like the treasury bills, the government bonds, and the likes. And then the other 10%, no, we see, okay, that one I will go high. I will invest it because all these things are here can in now. Are more like low to medium level risk. And then the other 10%, no, say, no, the best share be a high risk bibimu. Now you can high risk about crypto. You learn about crypto, then you invest in crypto, and then there are high risk in a day. Crypto in a day, say see a boom, I'll bet to me 100% profit in a day, and then there are high risk. I say a falling so in a day, it to me tia ma wasuni na yeshi. And I have a certificate in all these things. I have a certificate in it. What you say? So if I'm talking to you about these things. That's why I tell you, say finance is one of the areas I make personally. No, me need you me pay finance. What you say? Me need jisa in sem ne ho. To me, what about say my top financial book? There is a book I read, and the title of the book is "I'll Teach You How to Be Rich." Me sure say more hand in and maybe me sure say mo read this book neither. I'll teach you how to be. Currently, book I'm reading. Currently, the book I'm reading currently, Donald Trump ni book. Title no Think Like a Billionaire. Donald Trump book. Donald Trump munim so isikeni. Currently, that's the book I'm reading. Think Like a Billionaire. I like reading financial books. Who read this book now? Teach you how to be rich now. Mainly, it talks about every single month putting your money in the stocks exchange, buying ETFs. Investing in ETFs on the stock exchange. And on any day, it's over the long term. So how long term idea make a say we invest here till say we return. Yes, because I know it is a sure way. And so once you are investing like that, when we say, oh, retirement there, dear wo yan and saying so opa, if you want to go all in, you can also decide to do some 10% with insurances. Insurance so ya idea bia me obia wo ma me nije financing ho me mama. I'm not going to lie. When I was a kid, I saw my mom do all these things. That time no what you say and all into me be catch me who say me nyina me share say me ejuma me so me share say me yes anya maybe. And one of the things I me to me who say onya benefit won pa insurance. When she or try no at the end of the month na insurance ya tie free ni sikem. At the end of the month, ni ati or call pension. Sike ya demand na enye sike bia, but the insurance dia na nanko ye every single month no babe boss no. Na fe sika na sika pudu. Ni na ya dia misua ye. That's just by the way. Maybe I na fa no. That you say. Maybe I fa. But the truth of the matter is say it is good. That you say what is happening now. It is good that at least now you have people who understand finances. Now they are handling the economy. And your mom claim say, or muku school now so the economy ne mom no. Adia no be nim say financial no. Nanke ni kwan say wo moye. Na afi wo moye. Na wo dwen ho an won ti ase. So it is good. Mo try mo adwo comment box ni mo tie for. Me da ase.